Welcome back to another adventure with Getting Lost. Today we are at the Kallang Park Connector because we are actually going here to visit another river. A river that I told you that I will come back and visit, which is the Whampoa River, which actually connects into the Kallang River. So that's why we're here at the Kallang River again to explore the Whampoa River. So join me after the intro for more. And welcome back. As you remember, this is the Kallang River. We were here previously at the Kallang River and we walked all the way down the Kallang River, and we are actually now on the Kallang Park Connector, and we are going to continue walking down the Kallang River until we reach the Whampoa River. Yes, the Whampoa River, which actually connects to the Kallang River somewhere up ahead. And so we're going to walk past here and we're going to go to the Kallang River, which is here, and we're going to walk up until we reach the Whampoa River. Then we'll start exploring the Whampoa River. And so where does the Whampoa River get its name from? It actually gets its name from the Whampoa housing estate, which is located in a subzone of Balestier. And so we just continue walking along. We have walked past the bridge here. On my right here is actually Vandermeer Road, and now we're going to continue walking down here. We are reaching the Kolam Ayer Waterfront, and let me continue about Whampoa. And Whampoa is actually the namesake of the Whampoa River. And where does the area Whampoa gets its name from? It actually gets its name from a person named Whampoa. Yes, Whampoa, and his nickname, or he's better known as Whampoa, because of his origins from China. And this was during the early years of Singapore as a British settlement. So he was actually a businessman and also a community leader. And so because of his many contributions to the Strait settlement, and also because he could speak both English and Chinese fluently, and he was actually an important bridge between the two communities. So because of all his contributions, they actually named the area after him. And for those of you who don't know, Whampoa is also an old name for Guangzhou in China. So in the past, Guangzhou in China was also named Whampoa, but now they don't use that name anymore. Anyway, so what happens is we are now still walking along the Kallang River. As you can see here, right next here, we are actually along the river vista, and here there's actually a, what you may call this, a shed or an area where you can actually rent canoes to actually do canoeing on the river. So this area here, this place here actually stores canoe, and you can actually rent canoes to actually do canoeing on the river here. So this area here would make a very nice water sports area, which it is now. And so we're going to continue walking along the river, along the Kallang River, down that direction, and once we reach the end there, you can see the Whampoa River. And what we're going to do is, once we reach the Whampoa River, we're going to continue along the Whampoa River and try to find the source of the Whampoa River. And here it is. This is the Kallang River, and as you remembered previously, we actually did a very long, a very tiring 10-kilometer walk from the source of the Kallang River all the way to the mouth of the river. And now we're going to do another walk. This time we're going to do from doing it with the Whampoa River, And here we are now. We are at the mouth of the Whampoa River, where it actually meets the Kallang River. So here it is. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the river, upriver, until we find the source of the river. Won't that be interesting? And just let's continue and keep going along here and see what we can find. And as you can see, this place here is a very beautiful place, very calm, very quiet, a good place to come here and have a barbecue, enjoy the nice wind coming from the river. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep walking up that direction, and that will bring us along the river until we find the source of the river, of the Whampoa River. I just like the way that you say it, Whampoa. So as you can see, on this side of the river where I'm standing on is actually the residential area. On the other side is actually an industrial area. And so just let's keep walking down that direction and let's see what we can find. And if you see here, we are still walking along the residential area here. And in the water, what you can see is a water monitor lizard. I have noticed that there are a lot of water monitor lizards here, especially along the Kallang River and any river that connects to it. It seems to be a very popular place for monitor lizards. It could be because the Kallang River actually connects to the lower Seletar reservoir, and that area there is heavily forested, and so monitor lizards, inside the reservoir there are huge monitor lizards, and probably these smaller ones, to escape, to reduce competition, they come further down the river to find food, and maybe that's why you see many of them around. And now we're actually along Bendemeer Road, and so we have to cross the road at this bridge here, which the Bendemeer Road actually runs across this bridge, and we're going to head down, keep following the river, heading down that direction. And now we're heading towards another area here, and look, another monitor lizard. This one has a very long tail. Look at that. Like I said, it must be because they have moved further down the river so that they have less competition from the monitor lizards at the reservoir. So, and in this river here, there's lots of fish, there are turtles, so there are no shortage of food source for these monitor lizards. So why don't they live here? We don't hunt them, so they have free reign. They are the top predator of this habitat. A good place for them to be, as long as they don't create a nuisance, they don't attack humans, then we leave them alone, they leave us alone, which is a good policy. Live in harmony together. And as you can see, this part of the walkway is actually an older portion of the walkway, and they are actually doing some renovation across the river and also over here to actually renovate this walkway to make it prettier, make it nicer, and updating the walkway to a park connector, I guess. So we just keep walking that direction until we reach the next road, which, as you can see over there, there's actually a bridge crossing the river, and the road crossing the bridge along on top of the bridge is actually Serangoon Road. And one thing about Serangoon Road is actually a very old road in Singapore, and in the past there was there's two main roads like Thomson Road and Serangoon Road, and to connect these two roads together, there was one road that cuts through this, connects these two roads, which was Balestier Road. And so that's why Balestier Road was a very important road in the past. And like I said, Serangoon Road is so old that there are actually shop houses along this road, which is I think behind us. Anyway, so we just keep walking down here, and as you can see here, This area here is still under renovation. But if we keep walking further down, we'll be able to see more the new. If we keep walking down, we'll be walking past the renovation, and we'll be walking along this area here, which is still the Whampoa River, and we're going to walk past now more residential areas. And as you can see, as we keep walking, you can see more people cycling, walking around this area here, because we are really heading into a nice residential area. If you look at these tall HDB flats. And as you keep walking here, you'll notice that there's also another bridge here. You can actually cross the bridge here, and if I'm not mistaken, on my right here, the road here is actually St. George Road and St. George Lane. And here, the bridge we are crossing over, you'll notice that there are a bit of vegetation in the water. And with vegetation, there's definitely more fishes here. And this part of the river here, as you can see, is slightly narrower than the one up ahead, and less water. That's because we're heading upriver. So as we keep heading upriver, there should be less and less water, and the water should be getting lesser because we'll be reaching the source. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this, my first part of my Whampoa River adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. And before you go, please do me a favor. Please help me by liking my video, sharing my video, and also subscribing to my channel. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you have to do is to join me for my next adventure. I will see you there. Bye bye.